Hi everyone, Akash this side. Welcome back to the last video of the series AWS S3. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I would strongly recommend so. I have given the link in the video description as well as in the I button. So in this video, we'll be talking about versioning and replication. So let's get started. Now talking about versioning, let's say you want to prevent the accidental overwrites of a specific file or accidental deletion of a file. In that case, this versioning will be helpful. Let's first understand how this can help you. So this is my file wherein I have added your super awesome and all the text. What I'll do is let's say there is some user who has made some changes. Now let's assume that this file has been updated by someone, and what that person does is they accidentally re-uploads the file over here, something like this. So I have re-uploaded the file. Now you would see there is no option to retrieve the old file back. So if I go to the website again, some user had made the change v4, and now if I want to have the previous or the older file, there is no option to retrieve it. So that's when the versioning comes in, wherein Amazon S3 would keep the versions or the older versions of your file, so that in any near future, if you want to have the older file, you can easily retrieve that file. To enable versioning, we have to enable the option of versioning from the properties. Here you see the bucket versioning as an option. I'll click on edit and I'll enable this. Once we enable this, your S3 bucket is now capable of having the older version of the files as well. Once we enable the versioning, you see this option has come up. This option will help you to get the older files. So let's say I want to make certain changes in again index.html. Let's say this is the change which I have made, and I want to upload this change to the S3 bucket. I'll go back to S3, I'll click on upload, add files, I'll select the index.html here, then I'll click on upload. If I go to the static website, you would see the latest change which I have done. Now if I go back to my bucket and click on this show versions, you would see the older version as well. So this is my current version and this is the older version which I had earlier. If I click on this and click on download, you would see this file has the old change which the other user has done previously. So this way you can enable versioning and have the older files as well. Now let's talk about replication. Let's say you have a one bucket in Mumbai region, which is this one, and you have one bucket inside US region. Now what your use case is, whenever you upload something into this particular bucket, you want it to be automatically copied to the other bucket as well. So using replication, we can have that option where either for backup purpose, you can, copy the entire bucket, or if you have, let's say, application in US as well, and you don't want to re-upload the files, you can have the replication or synchronization between two buckets, which will be useful for your Mumbai based application and US based application as well. So let's see this in action. So here I have only one bucket which is inside the Mumbai region. I'll click on create button and I'll create another bucket inside the US region. I'll keep everything as is, but make sure you are enabling the bucket versioning for your newly created bucket, because this is the most important option. Without bucket versioning enabled, you would not be able to replicate the entire bucket or the objects of the bucket to the newly created bucket. So I'll click on create bucket here. All right, so we have one fresh byte bucket and fresh byte USA bucket. I'll click on the fresh byte bucket. I'll go to management, inside which we have the replication rules. I'll click on create replication rule. Rule ID copy. I can give the name as copy from Mumbai to USA. Here we have some options, which is the source bucket. It is showing it as a fresh byte bucket because what we want to copy from Mumbai region to the US region. Choose a rule scope. Limit the scope of this rule using one or more filters, or you want to apply this to all the object inside the bucket. Here you have to select the destination bucket. So I already have the bucket. I can select this US bucket. Once you choose the destination, there is one option of IAM role. So for this demo purpose, we are not going to use any existing roles or existing IAM role ARN. We are going with the first option where it will create a new role for us. One more important option over here is delete marker replication. For example, if you delete any object from the Mumbai bucket, the similar operation will happen inside the US bucket as well. So I'll mark this and I'll click on save. Once you click on save, it will ask you to replicate the existing objects because already we have a couple of objects inside Mumbai bucket. But for this demo, I would not be copying the existing objects. So whatever we would be uploading from now onwards should get copied into a newly created bucket. So I'll select the option number 1 and click on submit. The configuration is done now. Let's go back to our fresh byte bucket and also open up the other bucket as well. You see there are no objects inside this AKGK fresh byte USA bucket. Let's upload something into fresh byte bucket which is inside the Mumbai region. I have uploaded the script.sh inside the fresh byte bucket, which is this one. Let's see whether it has reflected or not. It usually takes a couple of seconds to reflect or synchronize the data between two buckets. You see the file has been automatically copied. After a couple of seconds, you would be able to see that file. Now, if I delete this file from the first bucket, let's see what happens. I'll click on delete. Here also I'll say delete. I'll click on delete objects and I'll go to the US bucket. You see, I'm not able to see any objects because I have deleted it. But if I click on the show versions, you would see the delete marker. This file is actually not permanently deleted. It is still there. You can consider this as a recycle bin. It is inside the recycle bin of the AWS. So once you go to your main bucket and click on show versions here and delete both of the files, which is the script.sh and this one. Now you get the permanent delete option over here. So let's try to permanently delete this and see what is the impact of it. We have permanently deleted the object. Let's go back to US bucket and see what happens there. So one important thing to notice here is even if you delete the file permanently from your source bucket, it will not get deleted from your destination bucket. So that's the important point which you have to keep in mind when you work with the AWS S3 replication. And that's your crash course on Amazon S3. It's like a Google Drive, but built for developers, website, and cloud scale applications. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more hands-on videos on AWS, and obviously, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.